Hello again. So this is interesting. I wanted to make something about popularity, catering to your audience, which this video is about. Really, it's about boy Zach insane rant on other people. And I watched a few of these guys' videos several years ago, and this guy as well, who made or makes comic books. And at the time I thought, who the hell wants to buy stuff like that? It was something about a frog or something. This guy mentions that he hasn't completed those campaigns. Not everyone has got his stuff, and it took like 3 years to finish it. This is weird. But also, this guy, at the time, I remember him saying something about his own distribution, I think, and distribution center, so he wasn't dependent on anyone. And from the campaign results that this guy showed, it was like 1.3 million. I mean, this guy should have plenty of money to do whatever he likes in life. And perhaps it's interesting to analyze this guy and this guy from psychological perspective. Probably this guy is emotion poor, autistic, something like that. And this guy probably not quite stable. And this guy here, JDA, John Del Arroz, he has another channel, mentions that they were going against the culture war, social justice nonsense, etc. And now they don't, and he's wondering, why is that? And I think it could be that they never were against social justice nonsense, but there were other reasons to bash what was going on, and if that fits together with the social justice bashing that others did, then you get the views and the interests of those type of people who then also watch those channels. Let's hear a bit about what he says.
The Acolyte or something like that. Look at the kid show. What are you doing, you grifter?
So that was about boy Zach criticizing what another guy criticizes about The Acolyte, which is a complete shit show. I haven't watched it, but I saw some small clips, and the actress, if you want to call her an actress, has a facial expression and awareness of an 8-year-old at best, and a racist, always accusing others of being the problem.
Of his audience and subscriber count over the last few months here during this spiral. And it's just escalating and getting worse. He keeps doing more and more and more of this, and less and less and less of the content that everybody loves on his channel. It's quite the opposite over here.
Of course, what he likes to do, that's his choice. But if he doesn't like the result, then he shouldn't do it. I don't do anything for views or for popularity. I don't care. But most of the big channels cater to the audience. They do what the viewers want. So in a sense, they're being lived. And that's always the case with anything that you create. You have to make money, but you also want to express your own views or create your own art, whatever it is. And you need to find a balance. It used to be like that in the Middle Ages with guys like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo. They wanted to create their own art, but they were not able to, of course, to do everything that they wanted. They were dependent on benefactors or commissions. So you have to do certain things, and then you could, for example, or what they did, for example, not complete something or make it a bit different into what you want, things like that. That can happen as well, of course, in the modern times.
Over here, like you guys clearly want me to discuss culture war stuff that's going on within comics, so I'm doing more of that and less of the stuff that doesn't get views. It's called catering to your audience.
It's also called, if you do it too much, not going through with seeing your own wishes fulfilled, not creating your own art, creating your own things in life, but being lived by the people who pay you to do certain things. It's not that much different than from doing factory work, for example, which is also nothing fulfilling, and you just waste hours of your life every day to live. And then you can perhaps do a little bit of what you really want to do in the evening, in the weekends, etc.
And that is something that he used to lecture Marvel and DC about doing. If you guys remember that back in the day, the hot dog vendor, he would talk about that. He'd say Marvel and DC need to make books for the comic readers, the people who actually understand this and love the character.
Yeah, but this is different. This is not about catering to your audience. What happens now is that people are creating nothing at all for any audience. What they're doing is lecturing with the Acolyte, which is complete garbage, with almost every TV series and film containing criticism about the people who created everything in the modern world. And those weren't minorities, and those weren't people from other countries than Europe. That's just fact of life. And they now get criticized everywhere. For what? For creating everything in the modern world? It's absolutely insane. And that is what annoys me. And it's not about... it's not just one thing, it's not comics, it's just everything. It's just reality. As I mentioned, for example, in politics, I don't give a damn about politics either. I don't care about politicians. Most politicians are bad. Left and right are both stupid. Right is stupid on, for example, climate change, doing nothing. Left is stupid about all this gender stuff. There is something to it, but there's no point in how they do it. It makes no sense. And all the other stuff, social justice warrior stuff, is just stupid. It's not just stupid, it's also antisocial. It is oppressing the majority with views of the minority, and there are problems with that, several problems with that. I saw, coincidentally, or I watched a small part from the old Battlestar Galactica video series on YouTube, and there was a comment about the Cylons now wanting peace, and that is very interesting. Try to find it on YouTube. I'll see if I can find the link, but because that's very important. I watched it and then I realized I must have watched this before, but it didn't hit a nerve, so to say. It didn't make anything clear to me, because I wasn't busy working with such concepts, with such ideas. I wasn't interested in people, in psychology, and now I'm interested, or now since perhaps 10 years or so. 10 years, not 10 years, maybe 7 or so. In understanding people and why everything happens a certain way. And also why psychologists are incompetent, and why don't they do this or that to make sure everything goes as it should go. And they don't do that, which is really stupid. Let's see, a little bit more.
Characters, and that's the whole problem. And they're not doing it. We need to call them out until they keep doing it. That was the whole point of what he was doing. And he'd mock them and shame them, and I loved it. We all loved it. Well, Nerdrotic does much the same thing with The Acolyte, with Rings of Power, with Doctor Who. Chris Gore is a wonderful reviewer. There's X-Ray Girl, nice lady. I've met all these people in person, and they're wonderful.
Yeah, this is all not very interesting. So the issue is here that he may not have actually been against this culture war stuff, social justice warrior stuff, but there are actually other reasons. And with this guy, probably the same. But in any case, catering to your audience isn't sort of an issue. And when they don't do that, of course you can do that. You can say, well, we want to do something else, but there should be a good reason for it. And there is no good reason for what's going on in TV, in books, films, with all the lecturing and with lecturing of nonsense. There's no good reason for it. And another example of this is Stargate, the TV series. I didn't like it for the first 2 or 3 seasons. It was very boring for me. Then it got interesting, and Stargate Atlantis came, which was also interesting. I'm not sure if I watched it on TV or partially via internet, I think. At that time, I probably had ADSL. And after that came Stargate Universe. I didn't watch it. Maybe I was busy with work, other things, and I didn't really follow any TV at that time, I think. I could check. I could check when I watched things, because I kept notes on everything. So what I read about Stargate Universe was this. There were criticisms about it, that it was not like the older Stargate. The Stargate and Stargate Atlantis, something quite different. And people, didn't like it. So the audience that's liked Stargate and Stargate Atlantis didn't like Stargate Universe. And the creator said, we want to do something different, and we're just going to do it. It's just going to be different. And in a sense, they were saying, if you don't like it, it's your problem. And I can understand that. That's creative. That's doing something that you want to create, and then decisions about the audience is then, well, you don't like it, it's your problem, because I want to create this. And I can understand that if that's something to create is something useful or good. But then I watched Stargate Universe much later, maybe a few years later or so. First episode, immediately I thought, this is like a soap opera. Like the slow motion effects, the zooming in onto faces, which I hate. I visited a relative also around the time in the early year, quite often, who liked to watch soap operas, and every time I walked past the TV, then I said, I was criticizing it. She didn't like it, but all the stupid things I would criticize, like, why do you watch this? There are always problems. Don't you have problems in life? Why watch someone else's problems, and even fake problems? Is it entertainment? It turns out that she used that as a sort of how do you call it? A distraction, something not deep, that you put on TV just after a day of, for example, working. But I don't understand that. I don't understand why you would want to watch it. People's problems and all this nonsense. Just put on maybe sports or something, like background noise. That's even better. So the Stargate Universe people, they also created the original Stargate and Stargate Atlantis, but this was very different. And if it was good, but for a different audience, fine, that's their choice as creators. But it wasn't something good. It was crap. It was complete garbage. It was like a soap opera. Even kijken, let's see. So, and it was also slow going, problems, not interesting at all. Why would anyone watch it? Why would anyone make it? So that was not catering to the audience, but it was also not creating something valuable. Then I would understand it. Okay, this video is getting too long. That's it for now. But in essence, catering to your audience, yes, but if it's too much, you will give up your artistic integrity, and there should be a balance. Okay, and for me the balance is actually more towards integrity and not at all catering to people. I only cater, in a sense, to people who ask questions that make me think, oh yeah, that's interesting. Then I thought maybe I can make a video about that, or write something about that on my website, add something. That I will do. But it has to be something that's interesting to me, and not, it'll get views, I'll make that. No way. That's it for now. Bye. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm in Kremenchuk, back in Kremenchuk for some business. power outages. I don't have internet at the moment, so I will upload this later when I can. I will make a few videos, I think, about other topics that are interesting, such as what one guy suggested, staying in Ukraine because it's fairly cheap. A bit more about that, which I like, don't like, what are good places to stay, or which cities are interesting to stay. Okay, that's it for now. Bye.